We've already taken you along with us to be one of the very first to see inside Tokyo DisneySea's brand new Fantasy Springs. But now we're about to take you on a culinary adventure because we didn't just ride it all, we ate it all. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. Are you ready to eat inside the Snuggly Duckling, dine on a royal banquet at Arendelle Castle, and find out what the Lost Boys would cook up if they were running a restaurant? Get ready because we ate everything in Fantasy Springs. I love these videos. Okay, so Fantasy Springs is Tokyo DisneySea's largest and most expensive expansion ever, with 3 brand new areas representing Frozen, Tangled, and Peter Pan, and it will officially open on June 6th, 2024. We got lucky enough to go to a special preview before it opened, and they let us try all the restaurants. Now, if you want to see even more details about Fantasy Springs and those incredible mind-blowing animatronics in Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey and Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, we got that video up now. But if you've watched that and need to know about that Snuggly Duckling burger, stay tuned. Each area of Fantasy Springs has its very own counter service restaurant. Frozen Kingdom has the Royal Banquet of Arendelle, along with the snack stand Oaken's OK Foods. Rapunzel's Forest has the Snuggly Duckling. Peter Pan's Neverland has Lookout Cookout and the Popcorn Wagon, where you'll get that roast beef popcorn. And if you thought the rides and the rest of the land was details, wait until you see inside these restaurants. So many little additions, impeccable storytelling. I could just stare around these restaurants for hours. When I tell you it feels like you have stepped into the movie version of Snuggly Duckling instead of just a recreation, it is animation in real life. Lines for food in Tokyo Disney can get absolutely bonkers though. Like lines as long as the lines for rides and sometimes longer. But we've got some tips that'll save you tons of time and make sure you get to eat in Fantasy Springs when you get in there. And we've got some tips on that part too. We're going to start in Frozen Kingdom at the Royal Banquet of Arendelle. So Frozen Kingdom is immaculately themed with so much attention to hidden details. This is the area of Fantasy Springs where you're going to find the most hidden details and Easter eggs from the movies. And it offers mobile ordering so you can save some time waiting in line because they can get so long. In our opinion, Royal Banquet of Arendelle had the best food of the 3 restaurants. And honestly, they're all so well themed. It's kind of a toss-up between which is the best themed. But if we had to rank it, this one would probably be in the second spot as far as theming. You are dining inside Arendelle Castle and there are several rooms to sit in. It's a huge restaurant. It can seat 570 people and it's many dining rooms. There's a sunroom with lots of art you're going to see in the movies. The throne room is likely going to be the most popular. That throne is going to be an amazing photo op. There's a portrait gallery and a family room with a fireplace and books with some really fun titles, just like we saw in the queue for Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey. And there's both indoor and outdoor covered seating, so you've got lots of options for theme and temperature control. The throne room is probably going to be the most popular here, but we just say swing through for that photo op if you're needing a break from the crowds and head back to the portrait gallery or family room for a more cozy feeling space. On to the food here. Menus in Tokyo Disney tend to be pretty limited. Restaurants tend to do 1 or 2 things rather than offer tons of variety, but they do it pretty well. There's basically one thing on the menu here at Royal Banquet of Arendelle, and that's Arendelle's Royal Set for 3,500 yen. That's about $22 to $23. This set is served in a basket and includes a pot pie, smoked salmon, trout and orange salad, potato gratin, bread, and Olaf's marshmallow chocolate mousse. There are 2 pot pie choices, beef or lobster and redfish. We opted for the beef pot pie. We dug into the flaky crust to find beef in a rich gravy. We found the beef to be really tender with soft vegetables inside as well, but overall we call the pie a middle-of-the-road option. Not bad by any means, but not great either in our estimation. The potato gratin comes with its own little crock. We enjoyed this side as it combined 3 soft baby potatoes cooked to perfection, covered in creamy sauce and a crunchy layer on top, making it a great savory side option. As a side, we definitely preferred the gratin over the salad. The flavor of the fish and the orange was a strange combo, creating an odd clash of flavors between the saltiness of the fish and the acidity of the orange. And this marshmallow chocolate dessert is just adorable to look at. The mochi had a delicious lemony flavor that played well against the flavor of the mousse. Oaken's OK Foods will serve up some snacks, including Oaken's Yoo-hoo bread based on Scandinavian cardamom rolls, like Epcot's school bread, but this one's filled with Scandinavian spiced meat and lingonberry jam. Honestly, this one was not super memorable for us, but it is a pretty hearty snack and definitely shareable, and it's only 850 yen or about $5.50, so not too pricey. And again, you can get it at that that walk-up window. It's Oaken's OK Foods is just a kiosk, so that one shouldn't have too long a line to grab this, and it could be a good lunch. Time to move on to Rapunzel's Forest and the Snuggly Duckling. Now, Rapunzel's Forest may be the smallest area of Fantasy Springs, but the Snuggly Duckling is the largest restaurant, seating 620 guests. This one also offers mobile ordering, and I got some more details on that in a minute. As far as theme, this is our #1 Fantasy Springs restaurant, and a lot of people are going to want to get inside, probably why it's the biggest. From the outside, this looks just like the tavern in the movie, but it is way bigger on the inside. Weapons are everywhere, with axes embedded in the walls and ceilings with cracks. There are portraits of the building through the years that show the tree growing into it, and the wall in there is warped from the tree's growth. There are also plenty of wanted posters all over the bar. You can spot Flynn's satchel and some cute Pascal and Maximus wooden puppets, so keep an eye out for the little details here. Story-wise, the Snuggly Duckling got so popular that they had to expand beyond the space you see in the movie, not once, but twice. First into the storage room, and then into the stables, so those are the themes of the rooms you can dine in. Every room in here has so much detail to take in and so many little nods to the film, but we and probably everyone else wanted to sit in the main room, which looks like it's pulled right from the movie. If you want a better chance of finding a seat, keep heading back to those other expanded rooms. I promise you won't find bad theming in any of them. So how about that food? You got 2 burgers here, 2 desserts, and a drink to choose from. The Duckling's Dream Cheeseburger comes served in a fantasy fast food wrapper with a Snuggly Duckling print. The burger is served with a beef patty, bologna, tomato, and onion with a burger sauce. Starting with the good, on paper, we liked all the ingredients, and the sauce was the star, but there needed to be more of it. The bread was also pretty tasty and yellow, as an homage to ducklings. With that said, the bologna was way too thick, and bites that didn't have sauce mostly tasted of bologna and tomato. We would personally skip this burger during a return visit to the Snuggly Duckling. The fried shrimp burger was a much better experience. It comes with a tartar-like sauce and coleslaw. The bread was once again delicious, and we felt the slaw really cut through the saltiness and fishy flavor of the shrimp. Now, note that it's called a burger, but it's just a big fried shrimp. just to clear that up. Overall, it was really nice and crunchy, incredibly tasty. Our only complaint was the sauce, interestingly, which was simply unremarkable on this particular one. Either burger, I guess you should say sandwich, can come as a set with fries or a salad for 1,490 yen or on its own for 950 yen. It's $9.50 versus $6. The fries and salad are both pretty basic. Now, fries are a little thicker than McDonald's fries here, but very tasty and perfectly salted. The salad had broccoli and corn, so not the most basic salad, but a very simple oil-based dressing, so it's nothing wild. Both options are good, just depends on how you're feeling. Rapunzel's magical milk tea, which will cost 800 yen, was creamy and sweet, but not too sweet, and the little tapioca-like bits in the drink provided a fun texture and fruity sweetness. We would get this one again and again. The duckling muffin is a caramel muffin, but it is more like a cupcake than a muffin, and we were able to devour it in just a few bites. The cream on top was super light while adding a cool and creamy texture and sweetness to the dense muffin. The muffin itself balanced being crumbly and moist perfectly. The best part was the ooey gooey caramel center, which was thick and sticky and portioned perfectly. The dessert is topped with a cute duckling medallion. This one is 600 yen. The Sweets Ever After treat is the one everyone's going to want to get. It's a lemon and strawberry fruit custard dessert served in a little frying pan dish. This pastry is very cute and draws you in. For the taste, we thought it was pretty standard for a fruit custard, which is a good thing. It's hard to mess up fruit and custard. However, we found the edges of the pastry to be a little bouncy and chewy, and we wanted something crispier, less dense, and without air pockets. While the fruit preserves, and custard worked so well together and created a great flavor profile, we wish the texture was more up to par with other pastries around the park. This one is 700 yen. The Snuggly Duckling has one of those awesome themed to the restaurant trays that I absolutely love about Tokyo Disney restaurants. I need these to join the souvenir lineup for every single restaurant in which they are offered. If you watched our last set of Tokyo videos, you know I love these things, but I'm not going to steal one on my trip next month. If you want some more tips on dining in Tokyo Disney, definitely go check out our Everything I Ate in Tokyo Disney video from my trip last year, because there's a lot of things you need to be aware of that aren't the same as they are in other Disney parks, like when and how to clean up your table. If you've got food allergies, things are going to be a lot tougher than in Disney World, by the way. Food is not really customizable in Tokyo Disney, so you'll have to do a good amount of research ahead of time so you know what you can and can't eat. This goes for picky eaters too. Just take that tomato off your burger. Don't bother asking for it without it. And if you're a big soda drinker, drinker like I am, you know I'm a soda goblin, you might find your options a little bit lacking. You'll find Coke at most locations, but you won't find diet drinks like Diet Coke or Coke Zero too often. You might find ginger ale or melon soda or some flavored Fanta, but the soda options are definitely less extensive than in the US parks. And size-wise, their large is about the size of a small soda in the States. Now, again, I go into detail on this in everything I ate in Tokyo Disney video that I did probably last November. So definitely go check that out because, yeah, I go into detail. If looking at all this food has you booking flights for a Tokyo Disney trip, do not worry. Be sure to grab yourself a copy of our free ultimate guide to Tokyo Disney. This printable quick guide is packed with all the info you need to know about navigating the parks, and it's updated with info about Fantasy Springs and how to make sure you get into the new land. Again, more on that later. Scan that QR code or head to disneyfoodblog.com/Tokyo to pick this up. Again, it's totally free, goes right to your inbox, and I'm pretty proud of it. Okay, we're going over to Peter Pan's Neverland to Lookout Cookout. So Lookout Cookout is much smaller than the other two restaurants in terms of number of seats and menu. It seats just 200 people and serves a snack box, a drink, and a brownie. That's it. Even though it's small, you can mobile order here as well. For theming, this one is just as detailed as the Snuggly Duckling and Royal Banquet of Arendelle, but because of the size and since it's not something coming directly out of the movie, it doesn't quite pack the same wow factor in the restaurant itself. It is still very cute with the Lost Boys, or as they're referred to here as the Lost Kids, costumes hanging from the ceiling. Although those are terrifying. I don't know, I just find, them scary. So that, there's that, but you may disagree. And you can see places they've shot their arrows, little trinkets gifted from the mermaids, and there's a big totem pole in the middle. It's all open air seating, but plenty of it is covered, some covered by a shipwreck. This is pretty much just one big area, so you can sit wherever you find a seat, but we really enjoyed sitting under that pirate shipwreck. The food here might be the most interesting of the three restaurants, though. You've got your choice of two Lost Kids snack boxes here for 900 yen. One comes with butter curry chicken and the other with lemon tea chicken. Now, these are both basically chicken tenders with different dry rub flavorings on them. Both options were very aromatic. This is a dry seasoning on the chicken, not a sauce, and that chicken was perfectly moist and tender. Both of the snack boxes have seaweed fritters, shrimp chips, and banana chips. These are listed as a snack box, but could definitely be a meal or a shareable snack. The Lookout Brownie is just a really basic brownie in a park where you can get some really delicious pastries. A skip for us, but not necessarily bad, and maybe not worth the 600 yen, which is almost $4 since it's kind of small. The kiwi soda was really interesting. Before you mix it, it's basically a sweet kiwi gel topped with soda water that creates a refreshing, not too sweet drink that tastes like half real kiwi, half kiwi candy. The little star topper completely dissolves into the drink to add some more color and flavor. This one is 750 yen. We also get to try a Fantasy Springs dessert that comes in a tiny little souvenir cup. This one is a mix of lime jelly and yogurt mousse. Tastes similar to a panna cotta. It was better than the brownie, but still not spectacular. You should be able to get this at any of the restaurants in Fantasy Springs once it opens, by the way, so you don't have to order it here. Moving on to the popcorn wagon. Okay, answering that big question first, why roast beef popcorn? Well, Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure takes guests from Neverland back to London. And that is obviously the home of roast beef. So, London's iconic roast beef leads up to having roast beef flavored popcorn in a theme park in Japan. Yeah, it all makes sense, right? The one and only letdown of our trip is that we didn't get to try the roast beef popcorn, but I will be there on opening day in just a couple of weeks, and you can bet I will be sending our team back in the US tasting notes on that popcorn, and we'll have it up on Instagram almost immediately. The Neverland popcorn wagon is going to sell a Big Ben clock face bucket too that lights up to reveal the silhouettes of Peter, Wendy, John, and Michael, and that's new to Tokyo Disney. There's also a frozen popcorn bucket with Elsa's silhouette and a tangled bucket designed to look like a floating lantern, but we've seen those in the park before, and they will also be sold in Fantasy Springs. Okay, how to get into Fantasy Springs and avoid the lines. Just like how Disney World uses virtual queues for some of their newest and most popular rides and mobile order for many restaurants, Fantasy Springs is going to use something similar. The first challenge to dining at the Snuggly Duckling is going to be getting into Fantasy Springs in the first place. To enter Fantasy Springs, you'll need a standby pass, which is free, or Disney's Premier Access Pass, which is paid. With standby pass, you pick a return time for one of the 4 rides, and you'll also get a 3-hour window in which you can enter Fantasy Springs. You can pay your way in and get access to the Premier Access line for a shorter wait at a designated time, along with an assigned time to enter Fantasy Springs. Paid access passes are available for Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey, Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, and Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure. Each ride per person starts at around 2,000 yen, or $12 to $13. For either option, you can only book one ride per day, and you can book as soon as you enter Tokyo DisneySea for the day, and there is no re-entry to Fantasy Springs once you leave the land. There is another set of options that guarantee you entrance to Fantasy Springs, and that is through the one-day passport Fantasy Springs Magic, which can be purchased as a part of an eligible vacation package or with your stay at the Fantasy Springs Hotel. If you get to stay there, please let me know, because I tried really hard to get a room and I couldn't. So let me come stay with you. Just kidding. Not really. Once you've secured your entry to Fantasy Springs, you're going to want to mobile order your food so you don't have to waste any time in unnecessary lines, and you can spend more of that time exploring the land. I will tell you, I know I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I can't stress it enough. Food lines at Tokyo Disney are absolutely bonkerballs. So definitely get in line when you first get in there. Do that mobile order. Just please make use of mobile order. You've never seen lines like these before. Now, mobile order works just like it does in Disney World and Disneyland. You're going to select where you want to eat, what you want to eat, your pickup time, and you pay right in the Tokyo Disneyland app. If you're traveling from overseas, you'll want to make sure you've got an international phone plan or pocket Wi-Fi to ensure you'll be able to use the app. Also, go ahead and download that app before you even go and start looking around and figuring out how stuff works. It's definitely going to be useful, and it's going to be better than trying to figure it out when you're in the park, when you've got thousands of people around you who are all trying to get on the same rides and in the same mobile order as you are. Now, let's talk Fantasy Springs Hotel restaurants. The Fantasy Springs Hotel is connected directly to the land, and it's intended to basically be an extension of Fantasy Springs. If you're lucky enough to snag a reservation in one of the main hotel's 419 rooms or the 56 ultra exclusive and uber expensive Grand Chateau rooms, you'll have access to restaurants that no one else is allowed to dine in. Only hotel guests can eat here. You can book it as part of your Fantasy Springs Magic vacation package, even if you're staying at a different hotel, but it books up really fast. Fantasy Springs Restaurant has a breakfast, lunch, and dinner buffet and the Grand Paradise Lounge located just off the lobby. And for those staying in the Grand Chateau, they've got exclusive access to the high-end French cuisine restaurant La Le Buelle. Overall, the theming inside these restaurants impressed us just as much or more so than the rest of Fantasy Springs. While not all of the food was a total slam dunk for our team, getting to step inside these stories and locations made up for any dishes we weren't totally in love with. And don't forget, this food is created for a completely different culture than what we're used to and associated with. So makes sense that there's going to be some stuff that's just not going to be to our personal taste or liking, because we're not used to that kind of food. Think of it like Cinderella's Royal Table. You're paying for the experience, and if the food is good, that's a plus, but the food here is only going to cost you $9 to $23, and you don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. to make a reservation. In that sense, it's hard to pick a favorite, because I think I will be so swayed by which movie is your favorite and how hungry you are. Now, we want to thank Disney again for letting us see this incredible land and allowing us to come to this very, very exclusive preview. And also thank you for coming along with us on all of our coverage. You know, we pulled all-nighters to make sure that we had coverage of the land up as soon as our team in Tokyo was experiencing it, so you could experience it first. Our whole team was involved, and it was an exhausting week, but it was absolutely an incredible week. So like I said, I will be in Fantasy Springs in just a couple of weeks for opening day. I think that's going to be an absolute madhouse, and it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I cannot wait. So we'll have another few videos after that, kind of showcasing what opening was like and any other tips that we have once we're in the land, when it's actually open and we're sort of battling against all of the other fans and guests who are there, kind of trying to do everything at the same time. I'm sure I'm going to make a ton of mistakes, and I will come back with a lot of updates and tips for you for when you go to Fantasy Springs, because I can't wait till you go. Thanks for listening, everybody, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Vlog, and we'll see you real soon.